Dan here from MyOLab. Today we're going to talk about everything bridging. Why? Hip bridging is a very important rehab exercise for hamstring glute development to help them work together in concert, as well as for any kind of low back pain. Very, very important rehab exercise.
So we're going to talk about a more traditional hamstring bridge here. First of all, you're going to engage your abdominal brace. Please see our breathing and bracing video for that. Okay. Brace engaged. Then you're going to drive your hips up to the ceiling, keeping your torso and hips in one line. Very good. And you're going to come back down slow. Okay. One more time. Drive up. You should feel the hamstrings engaged a little bit through the glutes. You should not feel any tension through the low back here, as long as your abdominal brace is engaged properly. One progression for this exercise is going to be a single leg bridge. So we're going to come down here. You're going to straighten this leg out so your knees are in line, engage your abdominal brace, and you're going to lift up, okay? Try not to let your torso twist here. Really important to keep that core engaged, and you should feel through that standing hamstring, okay? And come down slow. Next, we're going to talk about the McGill modifications to isolate the glutes. Okay? It's very important especially if you're experiencing back pain and you overuse your hamstrings. So to try to turn off the hamstrings, we're going to modify by bringing the legs in nice and close, keeping the legs wide. Again, as always, we're going to engage our abdominal brace. We're going to squeeze through our glutes and push up to the ceiling here. You should feel this much more significantly in the glutes. Maybe just a touch in the hamstrings, and there should not be any tension in the low back. Keep your knees driving out to the side, ideally knees over your toes, and you're going to come down slow. We've got Evan on the floor here to give us a hand. So we're going to talk about some common errors that you might see with this exercise. Okay? So to do this properly here, Evan's flat on the floor, head down, upper body more or less relaxed here. Okay? Feet are flat on the ground, knees bent up. He's going to engage his abdominal brace. Very good. And then he's going to push up through the hips, pushing down through the feet, up to the sky. And you feel that in the hamstrings there?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay, and he's going to come down nice and slow. So some common errors we might see with this exercise are when Evan comes up, okay, he might drop his hip down to one side. Okay, so dumping down through the hips, we want to avoid that. We might see Evan come up too far and actually hyperextend through the back. Okay, that means we've lost our abdominal brace. Okay, we might also see Evan lift his head up as well. Okay, this part of your body should remain relatively relaxed throughout this exercise. Moving on to the single leg progression here, Evan's going to straighten this leg out. Very good. So his knees are in line, and now he's going to drive up with his right leg here. Okay, really keeping in mind not to let that hip fall to the left side. Very good, coming down nice and slow. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, you can come back down here. As an easier variation to this, Evan can keep this leg down. He can bridge up, and then in this position, he can put this leg out. Good. Bring it back down, and then come down slow. Lastly, for our McGill-centric or glute modification, okay, we're going to get the legs to come in nice and close. We're going to get them wide. Okay, this is going to help turn off the hamstrings. Knees are staying in line with the toes here. Evan's going to engage his brace and drive up through the glutes, lifting his hips to the sky. Okay, and he's not going to let his knees fall inward. And if you're having trouble turning off the hamstrings in this position, one modification you can do is you're going to be pushing your legs down and forward. Okay, as if you're trying to do a knee extension, but don't actually let your legs move forward. That's going to further help you turn off the hamstrings. So one more time, if I get Evan to come up here, one way to check that the hamstrings are turned off in the McGill modification is to actually put your hands here, and you can actually wiggle them a little bit, and they should feel relatively loose. In terms of dosages, when it comes to phase 1 rehab, where we're just trying to activate an inhibited or muscle that you haven't used very much. We're looking to go 3 sets until you feel a nice burn. So no specific number on those. The dosage for phase 2, when we're trying to build some strength in the muscle, is you're going to go until you reach technical failure, where you can no longer do the proper form and you start to do some of the common errors that we just discussed, or you can easily hit 20 to 25 reps, which means it's time to progress to a harder exercise. As always, if you have questions about the exercise, comment below, message us on Instagram, or email us at info@myolab.ca.